The journey of old souls. An old soul is not simply someone who is wise or quiet. The term refers to a being who has lived many lifetimes and has passed through multiple spiritual initiations. These initiations are not always grand or ceremonial. Many come through pain, betrayal, solitude, and the repeated confrontation with mortality. In the secret scrolls of the Nag Hammadi library, the soul's journey is likened to a spiral. Through dimensions of illusion, only through repeated encounters with truth does the soul begin to remember its real nature. An old soul carries these memories unconsciously. Flashes of past existences, deep intuition that seems unexplainable, and an overwhelming feeling that this world is somehow not their true home. Many ancient texts speak of soul age as a spectrum. The Vedic tradition classifies the soul's journey into stages: the infant soul, the young soul, the mature soul, and the old soul. Infant souls are concerned with survival and instinct. Young souls are drawn to power, ambition, and success. Mature souls begin to seek meaning, and old souls long for unity, peace, and freedom from the cycle of rebirth. These stages are not moral rankings. They are stages of learning, like grades in a school. An old soul has likely passed through the battlefield of ambition, the deserts of disillusionment, and the mountain of detachment. They have loved deeply and lost, repeatedly, not just in one lifetime, but across many. What separates the old soul from others is not the number of lifetimes, but how deeply the soul has integrated the lessons of those lives. Many souls repeat the same patterns for centuries, caught in karmic loops. An old soul has begun to break free from these loops. To recognize an old soul is to see beyond the surface of a person's life. These souls often walk quietly among others, unnoticed by the world but deeply aware of it. They do not carry signs of their soul's age in their faces or voices, but in the subtle undercurrents of their being: how they listen, how they move through pain, how they look at the sky as if remembering something long forgotten. Signs of an old soul. The following signs, though not exhaustive, are drawn from ancient wisdom traditions, spiritual psychology, and mystical texts that describe the soul's evolution across time. They are not mere personality traits, but inner markers. 1. A profound sense of being out of place. From early childhood, old souls often feel they do not quite belong. It is not simply a matter of social discomfort, but a deep aching sense that they have been misplaced in time. They may look around and wonder why others are preoccupied with things that seem trivial or shallow. The modern world, with its relentless distraction, often feels alien to them. This feeling of estrangement is described in the teachings of the Sufis as gurba, a spiritual exile that precedes reunion with the divine. 2. Unusual depth of empathy. Old souls feel the emotions of others as if they were their own. This empathy is not only emotional but energetic. They may walk into a room and immediately sense hidden tensions, unspoken pain, or joy that has no visible cause. Ancient Buddhist texts speak of karuna, the deep compassion that arises in the heart of the enlightened. Old souls carry a natural wellspring of this compassion, though it often becomes a burden until they learn to manage it wisely. 3. Strong pull toward solitude. While loneliness may be an experience forced upon many, solitude is something the old soul seeks. Silence is their temple, and they often retreat into it for nourishment and reflection. In Hermetic and monastic teachings, solitude is described as the cradle of the soul, where inner light is nurtured away from the noise of the world. An old soul may go for long walks alone, sit under trees, or spend hours reading, not to escape life, but to touch it more deeply. 4. Wisdom beyond their years. Old souls often speak, act, or reflect in ways that seem far beyond their age. As children, they may startle their parents with philosophical questions about death or the meaning of life. This wisdom is not learned. It is remembered. It rises spontaneously, often surprising even the soul themselves. The Kabbalists say that divine wisdom resides within us as sparks, and some souls come into this life already carrying a glowing ember. 5. Aversion to drama and superficiality. Old souls do not have the energy for gossip, conflict, or pretense. They see through facades quickly and prefer realness in all relationships. This discernment is not born from judgment but from exhaustion. They have experienced these dramas in countless lives and have learned that only truth endures. This clarity often makes them excellent judges of character and trusted confidants. 6. Deep reverence for nature and the cosmos. They feel at home in forests, deserts, mountains, and oceans. They sense a living intelligence in all of creation. Many of them speak of feeling spoken to by the stars, trees, or animals. In indigenous traditions, this is known as animism, the recognition that all things possess spirit. The old soul often remembers past lives as healers, shamans, or mystics who lived close to the land. 7. Innate spiritual curiosity. Old souls often explore mystical ideas, sacred texts, or spiritual practices without needing to be taught. They are not satisfied with dogma or superficial rituals. They seek direct experience through meditation, dreams, altered states, or communion with the unseen. In the Gospel of Thomas it is written, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you." Old souls have a burning need to bring forth what lies within. 8. Recurring dreams or déjà vu. Old souls often report powerful dreams of places they've never visited, languages they've never studied, or symbols they cannot explain. These dreams are not fantasies. They are glimpses into the soul's long journey. Similarly, déjà vu is common, often intense. These are moments when the soul momentarily aligns with a past life memory or parallel existence. Tibetan dream yoga speaks of such experiences as windows to the deeper self. For urge to heal, teach, or guide, whether or not they are formally trained, old souls feel called to help others grow. They may naturally take on the role of advisor, therapist, or spiritual guide in their community. This calling often manifests early and is rooted in past lives of service. Many were monks, midwives, scribes, or elders. The desire to alleviate suffering is not a choice. It is a remembering of a sacred contract. 10. Existential questioning. Why am I here? What happens after death? What is real? These are not casual musings for an old soul. They are urgent questions that shape their inner world. Even as children, they may feel haunted by the impermanence of life or the mysteries of time. This depth of questioning marks the soul's readiness to leave illusion and move toward awakening. 11. Emotional resilience through suffering. Old souls are not immune to pain. In fact, many endure significant hardships. However, they tend to process suffering differently. Rather than being broken by pain, they are deepened by it. In alchemical texts, the concept of solve et coagula, dissolve and reform, is central. Old souls carry this pattern within. Every loss becomes a lesson, every heartbreak a purification. 12. Non-linear relationship with time. Many old souls feel disconnected from linear time. They may move slowly, speak thoughtfully, or lose track of days. Some experience vivid past life memories or have difficulty adjusting to the pace of modern life. Time to them feels more like a spiral than a straight line. This perception is common in mysticism, where the eternal present is considered the only true moment. 13. Inner certainty of past lives. Perhaps the clearest sign is a persistent inner knowing that this is not their first journey. This knowing does not require evidence or belief. It simply is. It often comes in moments of silence, awe, or profound grief. In those moments, the veil thins, and the old soul catches a glimpse of who they were, who they are, and who they are becoming. The paradox of the old soul. Each of these signs points to a deeper truth. An old soul is not defined by intellect, behavior, or interests alone. It is defined by a living memory encoded in the heart. The more that memory awakens, the more the soul begins to live with purpose, depth, and an awareness that goes far beyond the moment. An old soul walks the earth as both a witness and a participant in humanity's ongoing evolution. With this role comes extraordinary inner gifts, but also quiet, heavy sorrows. These are the paradoxes of the old soul. To feel ancient in a young world, to see clearly in a time of confusion, and to be full of love while carrying the ache of deep solitude. The gifts and burdens. One of the most profound gifts an old soul brings is the capacity to hold vast emotional and spiritual space. These individuals often serve as anchors for those around them. In times of chaos or grief, they intuitively know what to say or what not to say. Their presence itself becomes a balm. This ability arises from having endured so many lifetimes of personal loss, betrayal, and disillusionment. It is said in the Book of the Dead from ancient Egypt that only those who have walked through the underworld may guide others through it. The old soul has earned this gift not by chance but through the repeated refinement of the heart. Yet this very gift often becomes a curse. Because old souls can hold space, they are often expected to. Friends, family, even strangers may lean on them without understanding the toll. The old soul may absorb the pain of others without being asked and may have difficulty setting boundaries. because compassion is woven into the very fabric of their being. Over time, they may become emotionally exhausted, spiritually dry, and unable to explain why. The curse here is subtle. Their stillness attracts others, but their own wounds remain unspoken and unattended. Another sacred gift is the old soul's ability to see truth through illusion. This clarity is not only intellectual, it is vibrational. They often feel when something is off, even if all appearances suggest otherwise. They may discern hidden motives, sense coming changes, or understand someone's inner pain before a word is spoken. This perception can be profoundly valuable in healing, leadership, or mentorship roles, but it can also become isolating. The curse lies in the gap between what they see and what others are willing to acknowledge. The old soul may feel gaslighted by a world that denies the very truths they live with daily. They may question their sanity, withdraw socially, or internalize their perceptions as flaws instead of insights. One of the most unacknowledged challenges for old souls is existential fatigue. This is not physical tiredness, but a weariness of being in the world at all. Because they have lived through so many lifetimes filled with the rise and fall of civilizations, revolutions, rituals, and religions, they often feel as if they have seen it all. This leads to a lack of excitement for common pursuits. They may feel indifferent toward achievement, wealth, or even romantic love, not because they are above it, but because their soul has experienced these things already. This can make them appear distant, unmotivated, or even depressed, but it is more accurate to say that they are longing for meaning that transcends the temporary. Loneliness is another deep and persistent theme in the old soul's life. This loneliness is not the absence of company, but the ache of not being fully seen or understood. Most people communicate through surface language, opinions, roles, and small talk, while old souls yearn for soul-to-soul communion. They may go years without feeling truly met. In mystical Christianity, this pain is described as the loneliness of the divine in exile. It is not a flaw, but a sacred homesickness, the longing to return to a state of unity with others, who remember, who know. Until that moment arrives, they learn to find companionship in solitude, in books and dreams, and in nature. The luminous path, yet despite these burdens, there are luminous gifts that emerge as the old soul matures. One such gift is detachment with compassion. Unlike the apathy of a disillusioned heart, this detachment is soft and open. The old soul learns not to cling to outcomes, people, or identities because they have already done so across hundreds of lives. They love without possessing, serve without needing recognition, and walk away without anger. This freedom allows them to move with grace in an often chaotic world. Another rare gift is multi-lifetime memory integration, the ability to intuitively access the wisdom of previous incarnations. Though few remember past lives in detail, the knowing often comes in moments of crisis, inspiration, or prayer. A healer may place their hands on someone's body and suddenly know how to relieve the pain. A writer may produce ancient-sounding poetry without formal education. A child may speak of things long buried in history. These are not coincidences. They are signs that the soul is integrating a long story into a single chapter of life. Ultimately, the old soul lives with a dual awareness. On one level, they are fully human with joys, flaws, and needs like anyone else. But on another level, they carry the memory of the stars, the weight of past ages, and the silent commission to serve as a bridge between the seen and the unseen. This commission is not always clear in early life, but as the soul matures, it begins to understand its role not as an outsider, but as a steward of sacred truth. Please share this message with whoever needs to see it.